Good morning and welcome to the program Talk Sport on Global Television. Time for us to look at all the big stories in the exciting world of sport. My name is Anthony Momodu, the king of sport. And indeed, the Super Eagles have got a new number 10. That's where we're starting from. The number 10 jersey, revered worldwide, has been worn by greats such as Brazilian great Pele, Diego Maradona, Michel Platini, and Dutch maestro Ruud Gullit, England superstar striker Gary Lineker, and France legend Zinedine Zidane. In Nigeria, it has been done by exceptional talents too, each bringing their own unique flair to the pitch. The rise of Fisayo Dele Bashiru, the latest man to wear the revered jersey number 10 to this position, has been nothing short of meteoric rise. He made an immediate impact in his first two games for Nigeria, providing an assist and winning a penalty against Mozambique in an international friendly on October 16, 2023, and then scoring a stunning equalizer against South Africa on his competitive debut in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying series last Friday. So the number 10 jersey has been storied history in Nigerian football. Late Muda Lawal was a beloved figure, and Harry Nwosu followed in his footsteps, commanding the Eagles midfield with sheer brilliance. Etimesi, also nicknamed Maradona, brought flair, but had a short-lived career. Then fast forward to JJ Okocha. He was so good, he was named twice. Austin Okocha, perhaps the most famous, dazzled fans with his skills, while Mikel Obi brought a different kind of leadership and tenacity to the role. All these seem to have deserted the present Super Eagles since Mikel retired in 2019, and the Super Eagles have continued to struggle to keep the pace in the engine room. The Super Eagles have looked so ordinary in the midfield since Mikel left, as opponents wrong rings around the position, control the rhythm of the game, and wreak havoc on the team's defense at will. Okocha's nephew, Alex Iwobi, has been tried in the number 10 role, but with limited success. Joe Aribo also was the last man to wear the jersey before Dele Bashiru, but he largely disappointed fans following his bright start to his Super Eagles career with goals in his first two games against Brazil and the Ukraine in 2019. But the man on your screen, Dele Bashiru, has been amazing ever since. He has left not scored a single goal and managed to provide 2 assists in 34 appearances. But it may now be Dele Bashiru, the man on your screen, who is best suited for this special jersey. The Tayo Sportman acknowledged the pressure that comes with pulling on the jersey, and that's the Super Eagles' new number 10 man who wears the number 10 jersey, and indeed he has been amazing, scoring against Mozambique and also the very, very important equalizer against the Bafana of South Africa. So now you know who the Super Eagles' new number 10 jersey wearing man is. He's named Dele Bashiru, and hopefully he'll be keeping that number 10 jersey for as long as he keeps performing on the pitch of play. All right, let's move on from the Super Eagles, from Dele Bashiru, who is now the number 10 jersey wearing a player of the Super Eagles, to the Heartland of Owerri. That's the big story there. The former Nigerian champions, Heartland FC of Owerri, has been relegated to the Nigerian National League for the third time in their history after losing 4-1 against Remo Stars during the MPFL match day 36 in Ikenne on Wednesday. They returned to the second tier just one season after they were promoted back to the top flight. Rooted 19th in the MPFL table with just 35 points before the game, Heartland needed a win to make sure they avoided a relegation, but that wasn't the case. All right, so now you know that Heartland of Owerri has been relegated. That's after losing 4-1 to Remo Stars. All right, let's quickly go for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the big stories and making the rounds as we focus on the fact that for the third time, Heartland of Owerri has been relegated. That will be after this break. We continue with all the big stories. Stay with us.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momadou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out. For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on global television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point. This is business.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first.
Are you a food lover? Do you care about your health and nutrition? Are you interested in exploring the diverse culinary traditions from around the world? Then look no further. Introducing Lunch Global on Global Television, a show that takes you on a delicious journey through the world of food, nutrition, and diet. So, whether you're a seasoned foodie, a health enthusiast, or simply curious about the world of food, Lunch Global has something for everyone. Tune in Mondays to Fridays and let your taste bud take you on a journey of flavor, culture, and discovery on Lunch Global. Bon appetit!
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momadou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momadou on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians. We are the Canaan because
that this country gets it right.
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
All right, welcome back. Still talking sport. Let's focus on Heartland of Owerri, where former Nigerian champions Heartland FC of Owerri have been relegated to the Nigerian National League for the third time in their history after losing 4-1 against Remo Stars during the MPFL March Day 36 in Ikenne. Let's let you know that they returned to the second tier just one season after they were promoted back to the top flight. Rooted 19th in the MPFL table with just 35 points before the game, Heartland needed to win against their title-chasing hosts to keep their hopes of surviving the drop alive. But Remo wasted no time in piling more misery on their visitors, courtesy of a brace from Stanley Joseph plus other goals from Frank Mawuna and Jide Tokun. The Nazi Millionaires struggled for the most part of the season, which saw them embroiled in a managerial crisis. Current Sunshine Stars coach Kennedy Boboye took charge of the team for 6 games in November 2023 before the governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, ordered the reinstatement of former coach Christian Obi. They have only been able to win 8 matches this season, playing 11 draws as well as 17 defeats. Heartland were first relegated in 2016, while their second relegation was in 2021-2022 season. Established in 1985 as Spartan FC before being renamed the Wayanwu National from 1985 to 2006. Meanwhile, Heartland won 4 straight MPFL titles from 1987 to 1990. They also reached the finals of the 1988 African Cup of Champions Club and the 2009 CAF Champions League. All right, let's move on to other big stories. Fenerbahce. Yes, let's talk about the man called Adebayo. He's in the news this morning. Let's tell you that Fenerbahce are interested in signing Luton Town's Elijah Adebayo, with the striker keen on leaving the Heartlands following their relegation from the Premier League, while the campaign ended in disappointment for Rob Edwards' side as they ultimately finished in the bottom 3. Luton emerged with credit following how they performed against the elite, and one player who stood out was Adebayo, with the 26-year-old scoring 10 goals in 27 appearances, and he was a constant threat to opponents due to his physicality and ability to hold up the ball. The goal-scoring record combined with his all-round game meant Adebayo was always going to attract attention, and Turkish media outlet Tekvin claimed that the ex-Welshman could be on the move to Istanbul. They stated that new boss Jose Mourinho, the special one, is keen to sign the attacker, and that a fee in the region of 8 to 10 million euros could be required to make the transfer happen. Interestingly, they add that Adebayo is keen on leaving the Kenworth Road following relegation of his team, as he is looking to test himself at a higher level. Meanwhile, the chance to join Turkish giants is sure an appeal for the man, as this are set to play in Europe next season, with Mourinho's side hoping to clinch a place in the Champions League, although they will have to navigate their way through the qualifying rounds. All right, just to give you big stories, let's talk about the team Nasarawa United, as Remo Stars Academy, Beyond Limits, Ikorodu City and Nasarawa United and El Kanemi Warriors have gained promotion from the Nigerian National League to the Nigerian Premier League ahead of next season. The 4 teams confirmed their places on Wednesday after their intense simultaneous final group games of the NNL Super 8 playoff in Enugu. Nasarawa were primed for an immediate return to the top flight after winning their first 2 group matches in the Northern Conference in the playoff, and finished the job in style with a 2-1 win over Sporting Supreme FC. Meanwhile, El Kanemi Warriors also trashed Sokoto United 4-1 to finish second in the group with 6 points behind Nasarawa United. Meanwhile, both teams were relegated from the MPFL last season. Meanwhile, the Southern Conference, which had Beyond Limits, Madiba FC, Ikorodu City and Inter Lagos in the order, was open for any of the 4 teams to qualify before the kickoff of the last group games. Top of the table with 4 points, Beyond Limits left nothing to chance against Inter Lagos, beating the team who needed the win most 1-0 to pick their MPFL tickets, while they will play alongside their sister club Remo Stars next season. Meanwhile, Ikorodu City also leapfrogged leapfrogged Madiba FC into the second place thanks to a 2-0 win over their fellow Lagos side. Meanwhile, Toyebe Ajebe scored both goals for the Oga Boys in either half of the game. Having finished at top of the logs, Nasarawa United and Beyond Limits will slug it out in the final of the NN Super 8 playoffs on Friday to determine the champions of the second-tier league. All right, moving on to other big stories. Let's talk about Taiwo Awoniyi. Is the big story this morning as a new West Ham United boss, Julian Lopetegui, is set to overhaul his squad with 8 summer transfer signings to strengthen the team for the upcoming season. Soccernet.ng reports that Lopetegui is keen to bolster his various positions, has identified the need for new left backs, centre backs, and a forward man. Among the forwards, Taiwo Awoniyi has emerged as a top target for the Hammers. According to The Athletic, Nottingham Forest, facing financial constraints, are open to offloading some players to balance their books. They are prepared to entertain offers for Awoniyi, who could be a key player for Lopetegui if the deal is struck. Meanwhile, West Ham will need to make a substantial bid to persuade Forest to part ways with the Nigerian striker. Awoniyi, who played 20 Premier League games last season, scored 6 goals, underwent groin surgery in November to address a lingering issue, and now fully fit, he represents a significant upgrade to West Ham's attacking options. In the first Premier League season, Awoniyi netted 10 goals in 27 appearances. If he stays fit for the entire campaign, he has the potential to score 15 goals or more, a milestone not often achieved in recent years at West Ham. With Lopetegui at the helm, West Ham's ambition to strengthen their squad is clear. Meanwhile, Awoniyi addition could be a crucial step in their quest for a more competitive and successful season. All right, still giving you big stories concerning Nigerian players abroad. Let's take you to Italy, where Roma have made Samu Omorodion their priority to replace Lukaku ahead of next season. Lukaku's return to Chelsea prompted the Galacticos to seek a young replacement on the market. Galacticos director Florent Goffi immediately focused on Omorodion, who now appears to be the capital club's first choice to strengthen the team's attack. Meanwhile, the 20-year-old striker is set to make his return to Atletico Madrid after concluding his loan at Alaves with 9 goals to his name. The latest rumors of Roma's interest in him have been confirmed in today's Spanish media. AS, in fact, reveals that the Galacticos would be ready to shell out 35 million euros, and Atletico are asking for. However, the Choco Simone remains to be convinced the Atletico boss wants to wait, observe, and evaluate Omorodion during the preseason training. Meanwhile, Simone is said to be considering starting Omorodion ahead of Alvaro Morata next season. All right, big stories are still making the rounds. Still giving you stories concerning Nigerian players across board. One more story, then we're going to have a quick break to make some quick changes to the formations this morning. Let's give you the big story concerning Super Falcons goalkeeper. Yes, Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie is not worried by the quality of opposition in the Paris 2024 Olympics football event. The former African champions battle powerhouses Brazil, Japan, and Spain in a tough group of C that analysts dubbed the group of death. But the goalie insists the women's national team has the wherewithal to qualify from the group, having proved their critics wrong at last year's Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand by teaching the last 16 group. Yes, by teaching the last 16 from a group that had a host Australia, Canada, and Ireland. Now, there's a point that the Falcons had what it took to play against the best. On how far the Falcons would go in Paris, the FC Paris keeper added that the team's major aim was to first progress from the group stage. All right, still give you big stories making the rounds. Let's go for a very quick break. When we return, we'll be taking to Euro 2024 just around the corner in Germany. It's Scotland taking on Germany in the opening of the Euro 2024. After this break, stay with us. All right, welcome back from the break. Still talk sport on Global Television, giving you all the big stories making the rounds from the home front. We're running into Germany, where it's a Euro 2024 around the corner, and it's going to be Scotland facing Germany in the big matchup of the opening of the Euro 2024. And one man, while we went on a quick break, Samuel Odi just ran into the studio and ran into the game of football. Let's take him into the sports fans would like to know where you've been running round in circles.
You know, I told them a few weeks ago that I'm getting my fitness level up, so I went for a very quick run, and I got a true pass that I netted a goal before, you know, coming to join you to finish up the remaining half of this competition.
Was it?
It was a true pass. Don't worry.
By Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian is a very...
Sebastian can't even play football. How can he have given you a true pass? Someone who doesn't play football.
Come on, he plays football. Don't be like...
Do you know what, when you say true pass, he thinks you're saying about the truth and the lie. True pass means true pass, not truth or lie.
True pass.
Okay, but Sebastian doesn't know what true pass is.
It's too early to start.
All right, I'm just trying to wind him to be sure he was ready to get into the mood of talking sport. Let's give you the big story about Germany 2024, then get his analysis on it. Just turned 23 and sporting a chin full of stubble. Billy, the kid, is ready to complete the journey from boy to man. It's 3 years since Scotland midfielder Billy Gilmour announced his arrival at the Euros with a mature performance against England at Wembley. Coronavirus proved a tougher opponent than the Three Lions. The frustration was compounded by the sight of Luka Modric delivering the Hampden masterclass to eliminate Scotland in the final group game. A midfield magician and a pint-sized Real Madrid maestro is the type of player Gilmour aspires to be. Meanwhile, Toni Kroos is another, and Scotland's finest talent is in a generation that will be given the opportunity to show that he can emulate the very best when he goes up against Germany in the Allianz Arena tomorrow night when Euros 2024 kick-started. This is, we're talking about Bill Gilmour. We're expecting him to do magic because you can see his role models. He plays like them. He plays very matured football. Against Scotland taking on Germany in Euro 2024, do you see any shocker?
There might be a shocker because we had one before the Euros even started where Iceland, defeated England 1-0. So that was a shocker during the international friendly matches. So for Bill, shocker now to be saying this and then having mentors like Luka Modric and Toni Kroos being mentored under these guys, and again playing in one of the most difficult league, which is the Premier League. That part must have sharpened him and then prepared him for Euro 2024. So there might be a shocker because this is the opening game. So both teams will want to make a statement at this point. So I'm hoping to see an upset because that's what we kept saying in the whole since the past month. Even our local leagues here in Nigeria, small teams defeating big teams, got to FA Cup final where we thought Manchester City would take off the trophy. Then Manchester United, performs their magic and all, and then get to win it. So this is what we've been seeing, and me personally, I'm hoping to see Scotland defeat Germany.
Okay, it's going to be a very big task, but nothing is impossible when it comes to football. And so we're excited ahead of tomorrow's big opening game in the Euros 2024. All right, let's take you to Old Trafford, where the big story says Erik ten Hag has reportedly made 3 demands before he agrees a new contract at Manchester United after talks were opened between the Dutchman and the club. Manchester United have decided to back ten Hag, having abandoned their search for a new manager despite having sounded out potential candidates in recent weeks. A new contract is being discussed following the completion of an end of the season interview and review. According to The Sun, ten Hag is expected to make 3 demands before he puts pen to paper on a fresh terms at Old Trafford. The 58-year-old reportedly will refuse to allow Jadon Sancho back into the first team unless he apologizes. Sancho was loaned to Borussia Dortmund after effectively branding ten Hag a liar last season, with the expectation he will leave this summer. Meanwhile, ten Hag is reportedly will push back against attempts from technical director Jason Wilcox to dictate a Manchester United playing style. The Dutchman, however, was claimed to have impressed the club's hierarchy for being open to Rico's suggestion to use Bruno Fernandes as a false nine in the FA Cup final win over Man City. All right, so we've got three things he's going to ask for. One, Jadon Sancho is not going to be getting to the first team unless he apologizes. Jason Wilcox will not be allowed to decide the style of play of Manchester United. Let's look at this. And also the third one is having Benny McCarthy, who was part of his backroom staff from South Africa, being given a deal back into the team. Looking at these three things, are they good enough? Do you think it's something Sir Jim Ratcliffe will look at and say, okay, we're going to grant it for you to continue, or they will say, okay, if these are your problems, we're going to sack you still and get someone else?
I think I agree with Sue, and for him, the fact that he said he wants Sancho to come and apologize, I feel that's a bit personal, and then they have personal.
But don't you think that's going to, if Sancho doesn't apologize, it's going to send a bad precedent for the rest of the team, because he had insulted the manager. He must apologize before he gets back into the team.
Yes, that's what I was actually driving at that.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
It's actually below the belt for him to disrespect his superior and the manager of the team. So he needs to do that. But it's been almost a year now that all of this has been going, so they should find a way and then sort it out. What he's requesting for that is Eric Ten Hag now. He's not asking for something outrageous. He's just asking for one of the backroom staffs to get his job back, and as well allow him have control of what happens.
The playing style of Manchester
United, which is why they employed him in the first place. So there's no need employing him and then dictating what happens with the team, dictating the style of play. So I feel what he's asking is totally fair, and then he needs that to be on paper before he can continue, because I feel maybe the reason why he didn't perform so well aside from injuries, maybe the fact that the Inos had a say on the style of play. Maybe that's one of the reasons. Certain
Welcome back from that technical break. Let's keep talking sport and a big story from Manchester United. Let's take you to the Old Lady of Turin. And we hear Old Lady of Turin, we're talking Juventus, and Juventus have made a proposal worth around £40 million for Manchester United forward Mason Greenwood. United want to sell the 22-year-old this summer, and the £40 million figure is close to their valuation as they look to raise funds for Erik ten Hag's transfer kitty. It is not an opening offer as talks have been underway for some time, but the Italian side are growing hopeful of reaching a conclusion if Greenwood also agrees. While discussions have reached an advanced stage, a deal is not considered imminent by United as other interested parties are still coming to the table. Meanwhile, Napoli have also inquired about the England international who was on loan to Getafe this season, where he scored 10 goals in 36 appearances. Meanwhile, the Old Lady of Turin have just appointed Thiago Motta as their new head coach and are tweaking their squad. They are negotiating with Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz, with Weston McKennie and Samuel Lenin Jr. going the other way. All right, still giving you big stories. Still talking Euro 2024, and John Stones is in the news this morning as John Stones was isolating from his England teammates on Wednesday night as medical staff attempted to prevent illness spreading through the camp on the eve of the European Championship. Meanwhile, the Manchester City defender was the only player to miss training at their Blankhand base on Wednesday as he battles a sickness bug, and he is now a doubt for Sunday's Group C opener against Serbia. Stones trained in an open session in Jena on Tuesday after overcoming an ankle knock and was expected to line up alongside Mark Guhi in Gelsenkirchen. Meanwhile, however, Lewis Dunk is now on standby to come into the side, and he featured prominently as the team worked on defensive shape during yesterday's session. When asked if he would be in the frame to start in Stone's absence, the Brighton centre-back said he hoped so and was just ready to get things done. Meanwhile, Dunk has gone from a player on the periphery of squad to a possible starter in less than a week after Harry Maguire missed out because of injury, and he admits March internationals when his error led to a goal in the 2-2 draw with Belgium did not go to according to plan. All right, let's look at, first of all, let's look at Juventus wanting missing Greenwood from Manchester United, £40 million, and United saying other teams are still coming for Greenwood. Do you think United is making a mistake selling Greenwood on the final note?
I think they are making a mistake selling him on the final note because Greenwood, if you look at his performance just this season with Villarreal, he was...
Getafe, yeah.
Yes, with Getafe, he was like awesome. He was amazing. So he's getting back, despite all the challenges he faced. He's getting back on his feet, and then playing football that he loves and performing very well. So I was actually thinking Manchester United, despite the fact that they are having a reform for the team, I was thinking they'll bring him back and then continue with the pace because they actually need that firepower from the right side and someone with much speed like Mason Greenwood. But if they are bent on selling him off, Juventus also, he might fit in well because he's strong, he's aggressive, and then he can be able to play well in Juventus. So let's just see how it pans out. £40 million, it's a whole lot of money to, take care of.
Invest for Ten Hag.
Yes, invest in Ten Hag and, get sorted out with the contracts and then with his requirement as well.
All right, then let's look at the English national team. John Stones, who plays for Man City, having a sick bug and being isolated, and we've got Lewis Dunk who plays for Brighton. Do you see this chance for Dunk to make a stake for a shot in the Three Lions, something he might keep for good?
This is an opportunity for him to this might not come again, apart from him probably coming up off the bench, for him to start now. This is an opportunity, and then he needs to grab it with both hands and make the most out of it, because at this point now, it determines at the level at which he performs, and then if he gets to score goals and then maybe support his teammates, play defense as well, he might give Jones a run for his money, meaning if Jones is coming back, you will need to fight for that your spot, right? Because nobody leaves a place and then come back and sit and then get it. There's something people from the Benue say, tomato kwahaga. It means a throne. A king doesn't sit twice on a throne. So if Dunk makes... Come on now.
I was waiting for you to land because I just remember the king that has sat twice.
It's a saying. So,
but that's saying, I'd like to hear it again. I didn't know.
Tomato Kwahaga.
Tomato or Kwahaga. It sounds the way it sounds, the meaning it rings in the head is sounding different from royalty. Sounds tomato.
It's not tomato, like not tomatoes in the market.
I just wanted to wind there. But you said Otoma. Okay, Otoma. There's
Otoma. Yes, that's
okay. Now I know why you didn't forget that language. Otoma.
So that's just what it is. So if Dunk performs very well, he
might
take for his money.
Yeah. All right, but we're hoping that John Stones gets well on time before Dunk takes because Dunk is quite big also, and he has done well, so he might just steal that shirt from him, especially if he plays very well in the first game. All right, let's take you to Germany, where Vincent Kompany has identified a Liverpool defender as one of his key target at Bayern Munich this summer, according to reports. The ex-Man City captain's shock appointment as Bayern Munich's new manager was announced at the end of last month, with Kompany joining the Bundesliga giant just after suffering Premier League relegation with Burnley. Bayern, who were drawn to Kompany because of his impressive coaching philosophy, are set to undergo a major summer overhaul ahead of next season after failing to lift a single trophy last term, with Bayern Leverkusen winning an undefeated Bundesliga crown under Xavi Alonso. According to the Mirror, Kompany is keen to sign Liverpool and England star Joe Gomez this summer, with Bayern identifying defense as a key area for improvement. Gomez, who is currently gearing up for England's Euro 2024 campaign in Germany, enjoyed a fruitful season under Jurgen Klopp last term, chalking up 51 appearances for Liverpool in all competitions. Liverpool, who handed Gomez a new 5-year deal in 2022, are set to issue a firm hands-off warning to the Bundesliga side, who are reportedly impressed with the 27-year-old's ability to play across several different positions. Fellow Englishman Louis Cowell of Chelsea is also believed to be on Bayern Leverkusen's Bayern Munich's radar, and the West London club are not open to selling him at this stage. All right, this is Bayern Munich. I quite don't understand Bayern Munich's philosophy these days. First of all, against all odds, appoint Vincent Kompany now looking for two players. Gomez didn't do so well for Liverpool, hasn't done so well for Liverpool. He's on and off. And they're going for Colin, who is not a main starter in Chelsea.
Yes, so I don't know what their philosophy are, because we're all surprised when they mentioned that they wanted Kompany.
That's their coach, yeah.
It was a shocker. We all thought it was rumors, but now it wasn't rumor, and then he is now the head coach. So Gomez, yes, didn't really perform so well, but I feel there's a potential that Kompany is seeing in him, that he feels he can,
because he plays across the defense line.
Yes, he plays across the defense line. So he feels that there's something he can do, or maybe there's a part of him that he can unlock that we, watching the matches, haven't seen yet, that he can bring out and then make him perform better. And I wouldn't say Bayern Munich are deciding to go for the underdogs at this time to just, build them and then...
Or maybe players they feel have got potential to get...
Yes, so I feel they are not just going for players who are not performing well in a certain team. They are going for players who have potential to, do better in a different team. So I feel that's what they're actually, the philosophy they have now, to just bring players that are not doing so well in their
including team, coaches that have potentials,
and then try to work with them and then get them everything that they need, and then handle their concerns, and then maybe see how they can all win at the end of the day. But with this approach now, it looks as if they are rebuilding, and then if that is what they are doing, it's actually good, and they're getting younger players to do that with, and they have very good defenders who can mentor these younger guys for them to be performing well. So I think they're taking a page out of Real Madrid's book, because Real Madrid gets young players, potentials, keep them under, players like Toni Kroos, Modric, and then get mentored by these guys that are on their way out of the league, and then these other younger guys will pick up. So I feel that's the same thing Bayern Munich is trying to do, and then how to build their own team.
All right, let's move on from Germany. Let's take you to Spain. They say when it rains in Spain, it pours, and not the other. What did it adage from Benue State? This adage comes from Spain. When it rains in Spain, it pours. All right, something is pouring right here, and the Galacticos are on the the big stories this morning, talking about Real Madrid. Real Madrid have inquired over the possibility of signing Cristiano Romero. According to a report, the Champions League winners are looking to freshen up their squad as they look to continue building what, at least on paper, looks to be a team that can dominate for years to come. Yeah, with the likes of Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Junior already on their books, Kylian Mbappe and Drake already will arrive ahead of next season. Their attacking ranks. In defense, however, they are keen to add a reinforcement with the likes of Captain Naco to depart this summer. According to ESPN, Tottenham man Romero is of interest to the Los Blancos, with Carlo Ancelotti's side already moving to secure his services. It's likely the World Cup winner will command a hefty fee for his services if he is to leave as a key member of Ange Postecoglou's side. He made 33 Premier League appearances for the club as they finished fifth in the Australians' first year in charge, and is assumed by many to be the leader of the defense, having lifted the World Cup in 2022 and being regarded as one of the best centre-backs in the world. However, it is possible he would be keen to play for higher than the Europa League football. Meanwhile, the 26-year-old's current deal runs until 2027. All right, Real Madrid at it again, trying to get another young player who's got winning mentality, who has won the World Cup. He must be good enough to play for the Argentine national team, and also winning the World Cup is a plus. Yeah, winning the World Cup is a plus automatically. Now he's on his path to being a Galactico, and now he has been spotted because of the amount of work he's doing. So let's see how that pans out, because, you know, going to Real Madrid, having the quality that Real Madrid have, I think, like, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo said that Real Madrid are building a dynasty. They are going to build a team that wants to, you know, win championship for like the next 10 years stretch. So that is what they are doing. And then with Ancelotti now being the manager, and the next plan that they have of getting Xavi Alonso to come coach that same team is just massive. So we are seeing what is playing out, and then we're just hoping that he fits in properly with Real Madrid, and Mbappe moving to Real Madrid as well. I can't just wait to see what the next season is going to unfold. It's going to really be brutal. Okay, yeah, I hope you only just wait and see and not decide to become a Madrid fan. You know, I wouldn't chicken out. No, that's not chicken out. That's joining the greatest team in the world. And then leaving your own team that is suffering. Your team is suffering. Oh, confession! At last, they have confessed. Before the world, you have confessed. Going to reform. Okay, now you are talking like an APC member. All right. Before we get to APC members talking on sports, let's talk some tennis. Save us from the blues. We don't want to be blue this morning. Let's talk some tennis, as Rafa Nadal is set to miss Wimbledon to prepare for the Olympic Games, where he will team up with Carlos Alcaraz in a dream doubles partnership. The expected news was confirmed by Spain's Olympic team captain David Ferrer on Wednesday, with Nadal having said last month that it would not be good for his body to switch surfaces from clay to grass. With Nadal expected to retire at some point this year, it appears his final match at Wimbledon will be the quarterfinal win over Taylor Fritz in 2022, following which he withdrew from the tournament because of the abdominal injury. Let's quickly look at this before we wrap the program up. We've got Alcaraz, who is also world number one at a point, and one of the greatest tennis players, Rafa Nadal, 24 Grand Slams and more. King of clay, he is called in tennis. Putting the king of clay, Rafa Nadal, and Alcaraz, the upcoming great, who is likely to take over the likes of Djokovic and Rafa Nadal for the Olympics. This should be a great team for the Spanish team going to the Olympics. They should be winning titles. I smell gold medals. I see them being on the podium, because you can't have these both qualities on the same team and then they won't be able. This kid is very, very young, and then he's doing amazing when he defeated Alcaraz there. Alcaraz, yes, he defeated Rafael Nadal. No, he defeated what's his name? Djokovic, yes, he defeated Djokovic. So it is amazing. These two guys being on the same team, I feel it's going to be a problem for the other tennis
teams that are coming from every other part of the world that would be in the Olympics. So it's going to be a win for them. There's nothing much to discuss about.
All right. You've got two great players, tennis players, Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz. Definitely the Spanish team is going with so much firepower for the Olympics. Let's drop this story before we call it a wrap on today's edition. This is for tennis lovers. In case you're going to be in the Wimbledon, it's big money for you, as Wimbledon are set to announce an increase of more than 10% in prize money this week, with almost £50,000 up for grabs at this summer's championship. The winners of the men's and ladies singles will bank more than £2.5 million for the first time, with even first round losers earning more than £60,000 in the biggest prize pot ever offered by the Grand Slam. Wimbledon's prize fund will be worth around £4 million, more than £45 million paid out by the French Open, with both winners set to receive £200,000 more than last year. And the All England club who run Wimbledon slashed prize money when the championship returned in 2021 following the COVID cancellation, and the previous paying out of £10 million more than in 2019. Meanwhile, Wimbledon's finances barely suffered as a result of the COVID due to the All England club's comprehensive insurance policy. They even offered £10 million in non-appearance money when the 2020 championship were cancelled, with all players who had been scheduled to take part in the singles receiving £25,000. And running to boxing, big story on the world of boxing. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund in talks with multiple boxing stakeholders over a £4 billion deal to create a new league, potentially reshaping the competitive landscape of the sport. People familiar with the matter told Reuters PIF is looking to invest a joint venture with some of the sports stakeholders that would feature more boxing bouts. The people said, speaking on condition of anonymity, a handful of leading promoters, including Matchroom Boxing and Golden Boy Promotions, are involved in discussions that could result in a deal valuing the new entity between $4 to $5 billion. One of the people who said PIF wants to create a venture that would bring main sports organizers together, in which would take a minority stake, and the person did. So we're looking at big stories, a big league, talking about the new Super Boxing League. Saudi Arabia seems to want to cash in on all sports with the Arab cash.
You know, the money in sports, it's just like an ocean. It's so deep, you take out and then...
I like the word deep, ocean.
You take out, it's still there, and then Arab money, oil money, we know these Arabs with
Middle East money.
They are doing everything because they have the money. They are trying to get the whole sports.
And they got these two men killing themselves.
Yes, they don't just go to start up, but they go for the best of the best to come, fight in their cities and then help boost their economy. So this is very, very smart from the Arabians. And this $4 billion new Saudi Arabia plan for this deal, I think it's just... over.
All right, so we've decided after this program we are going to go to the boxing ring. We are going to become boxers, so that we can be part of this new Super League boxing promotion. 4 million. Oh boy!
Go into the promotion business for boxing.
Not the boxing itself.
Not the boxing itself.
Okay.
The promotion, that's where the money
Somebody doesn't want to get hit with uppercut. All right, this hoping, and this just to let the cat out of the bag a little bit, that some big boxing tournament is coming to your area soon. Talking about the FCT, and hopefully Talk Sport is going to be part of that big boxing stuff coming your way very soon. All right, that's how we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program Talk Sport on Global Television. The King of Sport, Anthony Momodu, be my name, and the world best analyst in terms of doing analysis of talking sport by my side, having returned technically almost full feet to the world of, I want to say boxing, but you don't like boxing, but you like the promotion part.
I like the promotion part. That's
the money part.
That's where the money is.
All right, so thank you for joining us on Talk Sport this morning. Let's do this again tomorrow.